Protein, 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 protein. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're not new here, hello. And if you're new here, also hello. My name is Rose. I'm a vegan health and fitness coach for women. I have a 3-month program that will help you learn how to achieve and maintain your dream plant-based body. So if you want actual really sustainable results, check it out, description below. Alright, so this video is going to be a little scientific because I am going to be addressing the elephant in the room, and that elephant is called protein. Protein, 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 protein. That word is just overdone in the fitness space and in the vegan, plant-based, whole food plant-based space. So this video is going to be covering the top 2 myths about high protein diets, and then we're going to tie it all together to actually determine how much protein we need for our fitness goals. And when I say fitness goals and I'm gearing it toward my ladies, I know exactly what you want. You want that magic word of toned. And being toned means building muscle, and we actually have to build muscle the same way that guys build muscle, and that is going to be strength training and good nutrition. And within the nutrition, there has to be a protein component because protein is really important for bodily functions, but also really important for muscle building. So when I first went whole food plant-based vegan, I was a trainer at the time at the gym, so I was trying to figure it out, and I was confused too. I really was, because I went whole food plant-based vegan for health, and I was trying to, with my parents, prevent all of the chronic diseases that run in our family. So here I was trying to adhere to whole food plant-based, and the whole food plant-based eaters were telling me at potlucks that protein powder was bad for me, that I don't need any more protein than I'm getting, and I could eat all the bananas and potatoes that I want. And then I wasn't looking the way I wanted to at all. I didn't look like I worked out. My vegan doctor didn't think that I worked out. And then the trainers that I worked with at the gym, the meatheads, they were telling me that I could never build muscle on a vegan diet and that I need to eat chicken and fish and meat for protein. So I wanted to prove everyone wrong. I wanted to prove the whole food plant-based eaters wrong, that I won't die of kidney disease, and I also wanted to prove the bros that I was working with at the gym wrong, that I could actually do it on a plant-based diet. So with a lot of research, a lot of experimentation, a lot of experience, I was able to put it all together, and that's what this video is going to go through for you. So stick around, grab your glasses, grab protein shake, just kidding. We're gonna get into it. So before we get into the myths, we need to define what exactly is a high protein diet. So the RDA for protein, meaning the minimum amount for the population as a whole, is 0.4 grams per pound of body mass, which translates to 0.8 grams per pound of body mass. So if you are someone who is an athlete, if you are active, if you're participating in resistance sports, endurance sports, and then of course bodybuilding, and if you're the person that wants to look toned, I'm looking at you ladies, you mean you need a little bit more muscle for the muscle building, which is what toning is, as I was saying. And also if you're elderly, you're gonna need a little bit more. So what crosses that line from a little bit more to high protein? So Wikipedia says that high protein diets are diets that have 20% of their calories coming from protein. And if you look at an Atkins style diet, which is high protein, that's going to be about 30% of your calories coming from protein. And then if you look at those giant bodybuilders, some of them are just, eating pure protein throughout the entire day. So let's say that high protein is 25 to 30% of the total calories in your diet. Okay, so are high protein diets harmful? So the Mayo Clinic says that in normal functioning kidneys, high protein diets are not shown to cause kidney disease. That's going to be the first myth we're going over. But the Mayo Clinic, surprisingly, advises people to choose the healthy sources of protein. And I thought that they were going to come out and say that you should stay away from all animal protein, but they just said that you have to eat the majority of fruits and vegetables, because if you eat high protein diets that are carbohydrate restricting, you're restricting yourself from the nutrients and the fiber that we get from the really healthy plant foods that are coming in carbohydrates. So if you're eating animal protein, you just have to know that you are also eating things that might cause adverse health effects if you don't have a well-planned diet. So animal protein, just to, roll through all of it, animal protein can be high in saturated fat. It can be coming with endotoxins. It could be coming with pesticides like mercury as well. And processed meat, of course, I hope you realize that that really could cause chronic disease and cancer. And also, the animal protein has no fiber in it, so it's not promoting a good healthy microbiome. So if you're eating animal protein, just be aware and make sure that you have a lot of fruits and vegetables in your diet. And then plant protein, on the other hand, comes packaged with all the good stuff. So all the fiber, all the antioxidants, the minerals, carotenoids, blah, 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 blah. So it is protective. So we have to then look at where are we getting our protein when we are defining is protein, quote, healthy. But shooting over to myth number 1, that high protein diets cause kidney disease. So this is a myth that high protein diets can cause kidney disease in people of normal functioning kidneys. So there was a guy, Brenner, who about 30 years ago made this study saying that high protein diets cause an increased GFR. And GFR stands for glomerular filtration rate. Shout out to my physiology professor, Dr. Boucher, who taught me all of this. And if you're watching this right now, Dr. Boucher, I'm sure you're really happy to know where the knowledge you've given me has taken me all the way to YouTube with my 50-something subscribers. So thank you. So anyway, the GFR, glomerular filtration rate, is a measure to assess how fast our kidneys can remove those metabolic byproducts. So too low a GFR is not good, bad kidney function, and too high of a GFR is also not good because that could cause increased pressure, which could cause structural changes and impact the function of the kidneys. So this guy Brennan in his study showed that increased protein diets can damage kidney function because you have a really high GFR. And there are a lot of limitations to this study because this was done in animal models and this was also done in humans who already had kidney disease. So it is fair to say that we really don't have any evidence that high protein diets can cause negative kidney function in people who already have normal functioning kidneys. And there have been a lot of studies on higher protein diets, and there has been no negative effects shown. So right now we really don't have enough evidence to conclude that in normal healthy people, eating plant protein that's probably not even a high amount at all can have negative kidney function. Also, is having a high GFR necessarily bad? No, it actually is a physiological adaptation and it happens in pregnant women. They have high GFR. So that pregnant women is not a known precursor to kidney disease. So in my opinion, this was just taken a little bit out of context. Going into myth number 2, that high protein diets cause bone density loss. So this is a myth that says since protein has high amounts of the sulfur-containing amino acids, it is going to acidify your body. And to neutralize that, your body has to pull out the calcium that makes our strong, healthy bones, pull out the calcium from our bones to neutralize all this protein that's in our body. And that is postulated because people that eat higher protein diets have higher levels of calcium in their urine. However, that is proven because the food that contains higher protein, calcium will be extracted from that. So basically, you're eating more protein, you're getting more calcium out of the food, and you're seeing it in your urine. So it has nothing to do with bone density and nothing to do with causing you osteoporosis down the line. Having too low of protein could actually be more impactful to bone density than to higher protein. So again, if you're eating plant protein, you're probably not eating all of this high protein. Okay, so now that we've addressed myth number 1 and myth number 2, let's actually conclude how much protein we need for our goal of looking toned, which means muscle building. So we actually do not need a lot of protein at all, really. We really don't need as much as we think, because the only people that need more protein than a moderate amount of protein are newbie lifters. So people who are new to lifting, and actually people who are on steroids, put on muscle super quickly. So they are gonna need to have more of those circulating amino acids in their bloodstream. And then when you reach that point, right, because you can't be putting on a lot of muscle forever, there's gonna be a point where you reach your genetic potential. So I would be someone, since I've been lifting for a really long time, like I really cannot put much more muscle on than I already have. So when you get to that maintenance point, which, you know, might even be a year into lifting, you don't have to eat as much protein as you do when you first start. But let's break it down and look at some of the studies that showed how much protein we actually need to build muscle, to change our body composition, to put on more muscle, and to help us shred fat. So there are a few studies that are looking at this, and all of them kind of conclude that you need around 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, which is about double of the RDA. And some studies show that you can even build muscle without it. So the first study was Tanofsky et al., who said that you really need around 0.6 gram per pound of protein. There's no difference between that and a higher amount of protein in novice lifters. The next study was Wahlberg, said that 0.73 grams per pound is all you need if you're a new lifter. And Lemon showed that there was no difference between around 0.8 and over 1 gram per pound of protein in new lifters. Tarnowski said again that for people like me who are just maintaining their muscle mass, we only need the RDA, which is right about that 0.4 range. Then Hoffman saw no difference at 0.77 and 0.91 grams per pound in people who are looking to maintain their muscle mass. So with all of that, you really don't need more than 1 gram per pound of body weight. If you're a new lifter, if you are maintaining, I mean, if you're on steroids, you might need more, but over that 1 gram per pound, you're really not going to be able to put on more muscle, and you're not going to be able to lose fat quicker. There really is no magic dose-despondent relationship between more protein and looking better. So this high protein, and all of the studies that were looking at bodybuilders on high protein, they were eating literally triple that amount and saw no negative kidney function. So the high protein that you have in your head is not the high protein that you actually need for muscle building. It's just high because it's above the RDA. And if you are someone who is just eating whole food plant-based diet for health, you can really get that RDA very easily by not even paying attention to protein. Just by eating an abundance of whole grains, beans and legumes, nuts and seeds, and all the fruits and vegetables, you will be okay. So moral of the story, you guys, is that you should be eating plant protein. It's super helpful for you, and you don't need as much protein as you actually think. More is not always better in this case, and then when you get to a point where you have your muscle mass on, you really don't need as much as you thought you think you needed. So really, let's just define our terms, let's define our goals, and just clear up the confusion that eating serving of chickpeas, a serving of tofu, seitan, protein powder for that matter, is not going to harm your kidneys. Alright, you guys, I hope that all made sense, and I hope that if you are someone who is trying to piece this all together, that you just really take the time to plan out your diet, realize that if you're trying to look a certain way, you can still eat whole food plant-based, but you just have to tweak it a little bit. And if you're still struggling and need help, you know what to do, link below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I promise I'll have something more fun and less sciencey, but as you know, if you knew me in real life, I'm an engineer, I'm a nerd, I love science. So getting to dive into the research and lay it all out for you, like, I'm just geeking out right now. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Leave a comment if you have any questions or if there is anything else you'll want to see.